and burn.
Hey everybody. So tonight I'm looking to discuss, what is it? Season 1, episode 18 of Millennium, and that is Lamentation. This was released, I think this came with this spring, 97. I think it was like April or May, 1997. And what this is about is a Dr. Fabricant. He is a known serial killer who was about to undergo, kidney transplant or some shit so he can give it to his sister. And he escapes through the help of his wife, who is Lucy Butler. This is the episode where we are introduced to the character of Lucy Butler. I'm not entirely sure what the hell she is. She's a demon of some kind. She's not Satan himself, but she's up there. Her and Satan are besties. And this, unfortunately, too, for anybody that knows the show, this is the episode where Frank's longtime friend and season 1 regular Bob Bletcher, he dies at the hands of Lucy Butler once she shows him her real form, which she is, of course, some sort of winged demon. And oh God, I love Lucy Butler. So she is Dr. Fabricant's wife. They don't know she exists. Of course, they're like, Bob's like, hey, as it turns out, Fabricant, who's now escaped, he exchanged vows with some chick online. Again, this show was so focused on technology. Everything was online, and I love that about that show. Because looking back, I love seeing how dated the technology was. Like, what was that one character's name? Schrodinger, I think, was the nerd's name. And in one episode, they take him into this one room where it's like a government internet connection. And he's like, whoa, these are T1 lines. Wow. T1, look out, And I love that about the show. Again, I love the use of technology. So this is where they're introduced to her. So Frank and Bob end up at her front door. She's like, he's not here. And the whole time, she married him just to... What in the fuck? It sounds like there's a seal screaming down there. So she just married him to torture him, basically, and that's what she does. She doesn't love him. She's not human. She's using him. And really, this sort of all becomes about Frank. Lucy very quickly puts her focus on him because he kind of starts to figure out what she is. And then we find out that Lucy Butler might have poisoned her son with cyanide. And the judge that was prosecuting her, even though I believe she got off, she was found not guilty for whatever reason, the judge that was prosecuting her also died of a suspiciously similar cyanide poisoning. And Lucy Butler can just seem to get in anywhere, literally behind locked doors. So there's that. And I love the lore that will build to do with Lucy Butler. She is so good. She's so calm. And this episode is incredibly sad because Lucy, the demon, ends up in Frank's house, and she seems to be hunting Catherine at first. Jordan runs out. Jordan's safe. Bob Bletcher, the detective, shows up, and he says, Jordan's fine. She's safe outside. Go. I'll clear the house. And that's when he's killed. And it's a hell of a way to be introduced to the character. We're introduced to the character of Lucy Butler through her slaughtering a season 1 regular character, a character that we all loved, Bob Bletcher. He was amazing. He was super. And I don't know, it's a really remarkable and memorable way to introduce a character that's going to be sort of the big bad for the rest of the show. And I do feel that, again, unfortunately, Lucy Butler's ability to be evil was cut short because the show was cut short. The show only had 3 seasons. She's in it and mentioned a handful of times, so they did pay her character a great deal of respect. But I just feel so shortchanged because I wanted more from her. Like, I've watched the episodes that are to do with her, like, relentlessly trying to find any clue that I missed. Because, no matter how many times you watch something, you watch it again, and you miss something, and you're talking to someone, and someone's like, oh, yeah, remember when he said he had the yellow shoes? And you're like, he doesn't say he had the yellow shoes. And they go, yeah, he did. Right before he goes to the bathroom when they're at the arcade. Sure enough, you shoot on, you put it on, right before he goes to the bathroom in the arcade, he talks about the yellow shoes. And that is something that, you will have watched 1,000 times, and you keep missing it. And because the show was cut short, I wanted to get as much as I could out of the character of Lucy Butler because she was so good. She was so scary and so commanding and so quiet and so comfortably in charge because she knew she was unapprehendable because she was eternal, right? This episode was amazing, and it ends. I'm thinking to myself, so Bob is murdered in their house. And I'm thinking, how the fuck can they ever live in that place again? And then by the end of the first season, the yellow house on Ezekiel Street was supposed to be the beacon of hope, the ultimate positive thing in Frank and Catherine and Jordan's life. But Bob is murdered in the basement by a demon. And Catherine even says it. She's like, Frank, it's going to be a while before I can go back into that house. And then they have this sort of moment at the end where Frank reasons that Catherine is angry at him because she's like, this never stops with them. Episode in, episode out, they're always having to deal with this scary, crazy shit. And she vocalizes it perfectly when she says, I'm not angry at you, Frank. I'm just tired of always having to deal with things that keep happening to us that don't happen to other people. And it's a really good point. And then, sadly, at the end of the season, Catherine would be kidnapped by the guy that's been low-key stalking her for the whole season. So it's like, she's right. Like, one of your husband's friends should not have his throat slit and then him to be hung up in your basement. That's not normal. You know, having your husband go missing and use this old name of the time when he went crazy to find him, you know, being mugged by a couple homeless dudes. That's not normal. You know, everything that Catherine and Jordan have to put up with as Frank's family and his support system isn't normal. And I get that. And this culminates really with her being kidnapped or / with Bob being murdered and hung up to be put on display in their fucking basement. Who would ever want to go down there again? I mean, it's one thing if you didn't know the person you bought the house. Yeah, okay, fine. But you're his friend. How could you? And Frank's office is in the basement. How could he ever walk down there again? But he does. And it's just so ugly. God, this show is perfect. Everything about this show is perfect. I love this show. But that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over 7 minutes. Well, I discussed, I think it's the 18th episode of the first season of Millennium, or it's the, oh, fuck me, it's right here, I'll just check. It's the 18th episode of the first season of Millennium, Lamentation. Like always, you guys are amazing. Never forget that. I'm going to go. You guys kick ass. Have a good night.